I think it's pretty safe to assume that most if not everyone watching this video who actively plays Splatoon 3 is aware of the catalog system. However, if you're not, to sum it up in the easiest way possible, it is this game's rendition of the typical battle pass system that I'm sure we've grown accustomed to in a vast amount of multiplayer titles nowadays. A progression track that incentivizes consistent playtime with cosmetic rewards of an albeit varying degree of value and quality, and that's putting it nicely. Now typically, this system of progression shouldn't be so difficult to implement, as the blueprint for doing so has basically been laid out for game developers for the last 7 years, ever since that godforsaken building game that little boys can't get enough of essentially shoved the concept of battle passes down the gaming industry's throat. But clearly, I wouldn't be making this video had that been so simple. Many games are infamous for going down the route of battle pass progression and failing miserably, and I hate to say it, but Splatoon 3 is in my opinion a perfect example of what I am talking about here. Now before I begin to entirely rip into how this game handles its catalog system, I will say that overall Splatoon 3 has done a relatively good job at improving the other aspects of progression within the game. For example, weapons no longer vacuum all your cash, now taking Sheldon licenses instead, which are fairly easy to obtain, only requiring either 1 level or 5,000 weapon freshness on any weapon to receive a single license. On top of that, the ability to purchase weapons that you have not reached the level requirement for at the cost of extra licenses greatly helps with one of the series' longest lasting issues, where it felt like it took too many hours worth of playtime just to unlock a single weapon kit that you actually wanted. This, in combination with higher coin payouts for matches and coin tickets being much more common to obtain compared to past games, allows for players to purchase much more gear, which that system in itself improved in the transition between Splatoon games. Not only are there simply more gear options to pick from in any given shop rotation, but you can now upgrade the number of ability slots on your currently owned gear just by using coins when they appear in the shop. Additionally, now when you max out your slots on a piece of gear, you no longer stop earning gear XP and continue to level up your gear, receiving bonus ability chunks in return. This feature in particular being much more useful now that you can spend a large amount of chunks to change the main ability on any given piece of gear, somewhat removing the limitations and outfit choices as a result, and opening the door for better customization as a reward for playtime and progression. Now of course, the ability chunk and gear system is still flawed to an extent, but purely looking at it by how it has been improved upon between games shows that there was a genuine attempt at bettering one of the core progression systems within the game. All of this being said makes it much more disappointing that the catalog system was released in the state that it was. Now what exactly makes the system so incredibly underwhelming, you may ask? Many things, as a matter of fact. For starters, the rewards offered in the catalog are relatively underwhelming for the most part. Now while you may see a piece of gear or an emote that you may really want from time to time, for the most part a lot of the catalog's rewards consist of filler content, such as locker decorations, title banners, table turf cards, and even gear that you'll never see yourself using unless it's something that you truly want. So already we're not off to a great start. A battle pass that rewards your many hours of playtime with what is essentially virtual waste is not a great way to incentivize people to continuously play the game for hours on end. However, it only gets worse when you see the method of which you are meant to unlock these items. The only way to progress your catalog level is to earn XP from matches. There are no daily or weekly quests to complete compared to other games that share a similar battle pass system, and while this looks bad, you may think it's not enough to entirely ruin the flow of level progression. However, the issue reveals itself when you realize just how slowly you earn XP from matches in the first place. Now let's look at this issue from the perspective of someone who doesn't have time to grind the game for hours on end, and may not be entirely amazing at the game as well, primarily sticking to Turf War and maybe Salmon Run as their main way of playing the game. Winning a match in Turf War only grants the player 1400 catalog XP, with losing a match only granting 800 XP or less if you manage to not paint enough to earn the maximum paint bonus at the end of the game. Combined with the removal of the freshness bonus that Splatoon 2 had, where you'd gain a burst of XP depending on the level of freshness you got a weapon to, and catalog progression is absurdly terrible in Turf War. This issue being even worse in Salmon Run, where even at the highest possible job title that you can earn, you can expect to earn an average of less than 1000 XP per successful shift. The only way to gain a substantial amount of XP from a match is either by winning your first game of the day, in which you gain a 7500 XP bonus for doing so, or by playing ranked battles. However, even attempting to grind the catalog in ranked battles is rather sluggish due to the fact that any match can go on for up to 5 minutes. making it take 4 wins or 20 minutes to earn 1 catalog level in ranked if you cannot manage to knock out the objective in any of those games. Additionally, just to rub salt in the wound, the penalty for losing games in ranked battle in terms of XP gain are far harsher than Turf War, where you may earn an absolute highest of 800 XP if you lose the match while also pushing the objective to 1 on the objective counter, and an absolute lowest of 0 XP if the enemy team knocks out the objective within 1 minute of the match starting. Which is much easier than it seems given the fact that Splatoon matches can very often snowball out of control, especially if the enemy team has a significant advantage, such as simply having better players on their team or having better weapons on their team composition. To sum up pretty much everything I have said up until this point, the rate in which you gain XP to progress your catalog is way too damn slow. Made even worse if you play the game hyper casually, in which you won't even have the opportunity to capitalize on the increased XP rates of ranked battles, which in itself isn't very fast either. This is incredibly punishing to people who cannot sink hours of their life every day into the game, and it's punishing to people who are simply not equipped to fight in ranked matches, forcing them to deal with the absolute slog that is XP rates of the non-ranked modes. And that isn't to mention the fact that XP tickets have absolutely no effect on your catalog level XP, meaning that you are forced to level up your catalog at a constant rate regardless of what you do, unless you are playing near the end of a season or during a time where a Splatfest or Splatfest sneak peek is active. All of this slog you have to endure just for the opportunity to unlock a singular item you actually want in a pile of useless rewards you'll never use. The catalog in Splatoon 3 is the definition of how not to implement Battle Pass progression, and is the perfect way to strike unnecessary FOMO in those who cannot complete such a treacherous task for any given reason. Now of course, the catalog does benefit from Splatoon 3 being a paid experience, meaning that it costs no additional fee in order to access the reward track, and items do eventually come back at some point in time. However, even if the items in the catalog are guaranteed to come back at some other point, that doesn't excuse just how obnoxious the task of unlocking those items is. Especially given the fact that if you do not complete a catalog by the end of that respective season, by the time that same catalog returns, you will have to restart the entire thing from level 1, regardless of how far you made it the last time. Now, do I think this system is unfixable? Of course not. All that needs to be done is to improve the overall quality of the rewards offered in the catalog, as well as significantly increasing the amount of catalog XP you earn from regular, ranked, and salmon run matches, as well as adding quests of some sort that players can complete to earn additional catalog XP. However, I do not see them doing this for Splatoon 3 given the fact that major content additions or changes have essentially ended months ago at this point, and any potential fixes that could come to the catalog system would most likely have to wait for Splatoon 4. But with all of that being said, that is pretty much everything I have to say about the catalog system in this game. Overall, it's not great, it could be fixed, but I don't see them fixing it anytime soon. Who knows though, I could be wrong and they might change something in a balance patch randomly. You never really know with these devs. Also, I should apologize for basically not uploading for like 4 months at this point. I've been very busy in my personal life and I've had things that I've needed to take care of for quite some time. However, with my schedule opening up recently, I now found more time to make videos, so I guess we'll be doing a little bit more of that. I do have some cool ideas for videos in the future, so stay tuned for that if you care about that at all. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day or night, and I'll see you all whenever I upload again. Bye bye.